Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 1623. I'm your host Arwin, and before we start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated and really needed. So, yeah, you know how it is. Right, the weather today is pristine. It's really freaking beautiful. Completely clear. No trails or remnants of trails, no clouds, nothing. Just beautiful blue sky. Green trees and plants and very bright sun with a couple of airplanes up there only leaving contrails, but don't think the webcam can pick that up. It's right there, but I think that the light is scattering too much for the camera. Come on. I don't know what it is. Right, anyway, plants are doing great. Parsley seems to be responding well to what I've done, cutting it down dramatically. The new shoots do seem to be coming up more enthusiastically and more green, so hopefully that'll work. Oh, there's the jackdaw taking a bath. Let's see. Yeah, the water's getting really used. And there's like the flock of white pigeons is pretty damn large sometimes. I think I spotted like 7 at one point. Although mostly jackdaws come here to drink. They seem to be using it the most. Right. Especially for bathing. I've seen some crows too. They also sometimes pop by for a drink. Or to bring by a piece of bread that they then throw in the water to eat it soaked up. I've seen crows do that all the time. It's hilarious. They just pick up a piece of bread somewhere that's like really dry and they throw it in and then move it around and then wait a bit and keep nipping at it to see if it's softened up yet. It's kind of funny and smart. Anyway, right, so I'm starting really on time today, so it wasn't going to be a surprise to me that nobody's showing up just yet because they're not used to that, especially early in the week. But yeah, I'm starting on time. Didn't go out for groceries, went to bed decently in time. Not as early as yesterday though. Yesterday night. But feel pretty good. I got a Gusto drink. No Illuminati croissant. I'm saving it for tomorrow. Cause I'm on a really steep budget now for my own food. It's a very worrisome scenario right now. So would be great if people could put some donations together. I'm serious. I mean, Flatter Sage helped me out recently. I really appreciate that. It's a step in the right direction. I really need help, guys. Part of my anger yesterday even was also deflecting my overall frustration towards ballers. And yeah, from a neutral perspective, it seemed kind of like exaggerated, and it was. But I mean, I was really freaking pissed. Sometimes I just get so frustrated, especially out of nowhere, like that. Because when I started the show yesterday, I felt great. Like, yeah, I'm doing fine. And then suddenly, and it's just like, oh shit. I'm really pissed off. Like, I guess that it was just dormant and outside of my consciousness. And it makes sense for me because there's a lot of things out there that really frustrate me. And then I'm like, okay, let's inform myself. Let's go through the alternative news quickly. And then just a couple of those things just already agitate me so much that I like try to forget about it. And with it, the anger that I felt. So sometimes I am angry. I just don't feel it because I put it away. But then if something else just digs it up, then suddenly it turns out I was kind of angry all along. Anyway. Hello, LSG, first in chat. Oz, good to see you. It is Tuesday, the 6th of June, 2023. Temperatures 21 degrees Celsius with a lot of humidity though. Makes sense. Based on the color of blue, especially closer to the ground. Like the more whitish blue, light blue it becomes, the more moist tends to be in the air. Even though it's all pretty uniformly blue. Like that first blue day a week ago, now that was like low moisture blue, and that's like really deep blue. That's so different. And also because of the moist, it does seem a little warmer as well. But it's great weather, and it's good. It's great for the plants too when it's more moist and warm, because they just absorb it from the air. Anyway. So yesterday's Flat Earth debate was great. Lasted long enough. The after show was pretty damn long. Ended up in a bickering situation though. Like, people got really rowdy. Which was weird because, well, the entire live show and most of the after show was really very calm actually. We were enthusiastic but under control, sort of. A little rumpusy. I tried not to do that. And then, of course, accidentally overtalked Nathan once, and then he got really pissed off, like, because I overtalked him once while everybody else is continually overtalking each other and him. But, yeah. That is how it is. But then in the end, like, Brian got, like, this feedback loop with Adam, but everybody else as well. Neil sided with him about the nature, fine details of the idea of structural support. And basically, well, Brian even admits this, that technically it doesn't have structure. It's just his intuitive way of using it, which is kind of obvious, but it's just like, I think they're still bickering about it in chat. Or not really, I don't know. I had to leave eventually in the after show was already over, and then I had to leave the G Plus because it was just driving me crazy. Just never ending back and forth about it. No, you just don't understand, and oh my god. But very active overall. And the show was pretty good. Right. So that happened. Let's see. What else? There was an Owen Benjamin, but I didn't watch it because it was really late. Did watch some of the like extra shows from Sunday that I don't get to see live, but they get to see the upload. Though yesterday was pretty cool, and today I started watching the stream from yesterday. And that was good. That's it. Right, so is anybody else gonna say anything? Or is it still too early for you? Or are you too busy working? Which is a good thing, I guess. Oh, right, yeah. I know what I was doing, yes. I spent some time cleaning up the place. Because I'm being very stubborn here and not working along with the schedule. That's like this typical student house type schedule that I just like, yeah, I actually do check it, and people, they're not really cleaning it up. And that's always the freaking problem with schedules like that, even professionally sometimes, really. I've been a professional cleaner like a whole long time ago, but even then it's like, this stuff is dirty, we should clean it. Like, no, we only do the floors. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is up with that? Are you here to clean, or are you here to just do some robotic work? Like, what the fuck is up with that? And so I basically reject the schedule. Everybody's doing that, and that's fine. And some of it's even kind of useful that they do it. And I lit categorically, like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, because, oh. Instead, what I do is like, oh, okay. This thing here is super dirty. Literally nobody ever cleans it. So guess what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna actually be useful and clean that thing up. And then not even tell anybody. It's just gonna be cleaned up. Yeah? And that's what I do in return for not abiding by this schedule that I've openly rejected, by the way. It's not like I'm being super lazy or anything. I'm just said like, no, I'm not doing that. The first second it was brought to my attention. Like, except for buying toilet paper, that kind of thing. Like, yeah. You're driving? Okay. Where are you driving at? Huh. That's really early driving, by the way. Oh, wait. Yeah, no, you're on the East Coast, right? It's less super early. But still. Right. So, yeah, that's why I watched less videos, I guess. Because that. But yeah, it was really that also. that aspect, but I just mentioned about cleaning, that really never made it like, I've done some professional cleaning work, but it's always been like black market style. Like, okay, I'll just be there and I'll do it, and I'll just get handed a piece of paper money afterward. Nobody has to know. And that way I can like do it completely by my own standards. Although, yeah, there's certain expectations, of course, and I have to deal with that and do it right. And that way it was like fine. And then I can like don't have some stupid schedule I continually have to stick to. It's just like you just clean it up and then it's cleaned really good for quite a while. But the problem is that most typical types of cleaning jobs, they're just not like that. They are like robotic. You just have to do this. You leave the rest. Leave it dirty, which means that that dirt that's lying down there will very easily keep blowing around and then immediately cover the thing that you just cleaned. The floor, for example, which is the most clean item in houses, and it should be. Anyway, I wonder if there's any cleaning companies out there that don't operate like that have a completely different model, that are like more it would be more probably in the direction of restoration, or like the second, like something gets restored and then everything gets super cleaned up. That would be non-periodic type of cleaning. It would be much more like a task force, a cleaning task force. I wonder if that's out there, because maybe that would be a profession that I could actually do. Outside of this, and actually make a living from it, because I am good at cleaning. It's just I think that every professional application of it that I've come across thus far was really pointless, like made me cringe, because it's, I like cleaning things, you see. I like it when it's like, whoa, holy shit, this is like new, it smells so fresh, and it's like it was so dirty. I'm like, yeah, right? Clean, bitch. I love it. But if I don't get to do that, and like, no, you can't do that, or you don't have time to do that, or other people are going to get angry with you if you do that because it makes them look sloppy, this really sucks. Like, I can't do it professionally then. For the final clean. That's really interesting, LSG. I might have to look into that. But also, I don't know if that would work in the Netherlands. I mean, in America, where there's like houses being built and much more regularly and cheaper compared to the Netherlands, with less hassle, if you can believe that, then that would probably work much better. Although there would be more travel. I don't know. I should ask. I think I'm gonna try to bring this up with my social worker the next time I see him. So it's new construction. Yeah, that's what I meant. Not so much in the Netherlands though. It's really controlled. Also because, well, it gets so much in the way. It's like a typical city hassle, right? Working on the road in the city is a huge hassle compared to working on the road in more rural areas. Anyway. Move on. Okay. That's interesting, George answered. Great. Of course, it's women. Right. Tea cleaners. I've spent my own. Cool. That's interesting. Although, I don't know. That could get kind of stale in the relationship if you literally have both the same profession and you work together. Seems... I wouldn't want to do that, really. Like, even, like, let's say I have this great girlfriend and she's, like, into media and being on camera and everything. Like, even then, working together would feel kind of risky to me. Because what, for example, if you become really great together performing, but then in the relationship it doesn't work great, that's a pretty freaking miserable place to arrive at. Anyway, might be overthinking it. Probably no woman crazy enough out there to do like a flat earth show with me like that. There's barely any women doing flat earth shows anyway, especially on camera. So, whatever. I'm not expecting to find that. But, I don't know. I'm just thinking. Because this poverty situation here with me doing the show and you guys just having trouble supporting, despite all the enthusiasm, it's just like it feels more and more like, well, my mind is simply wandering towards more viable grounds. I'm sorry, guys. I've been warning for this for years and always seemed to work. Get angry and then suddenly people got rolling in. Well, it's not happening. It's that seems over. So whether it's the infatuation towards me and sympathy is over because of some of the opinions that I've rolled out, or maybe now it because of those opinions it's become really suspicious when I get angry, might get crazy kind of devilish images about me and then not trust me anymore. I think that some people have this issue. And to be fair, I'm not even blaming you. I mean, I am pretty freaky, pretty crazy in ways. Emotionally. I got issues. I know. I'm dealing with it. Like, even doing the show is dealing with it. But, yeah. My mind is wandering towards... I like, because I need to make money. If I don't, there's literally not a chance for me to even find a girlfriend. You know why? Because I'll feel very uncomfortable about being super poor. I'll end up by accident begging them for money, and that will totally and permanently fuck it up spiritually for me. By the way, I've never done that even with my ex. Maybe I did that once. But then again, I mean, she was kind of like the breadwinner. It was fair. I was doing the cooking and cleaning and everything. And more. But, yeah. Anyway. if I can't make this work financially, then that would literally be like just a working prison sentence, because there's no way I could ever have my situation change. And yeah, I know, like, oh, Benjamin says sometimes, yeah, you don't have to be rich or have a good income to find a woman. That's technically true. But not if you also don't really have a real working discipline. Like, that works if you have a real strong working discipline where the work can be set to prioritize over the financial income to develop skills, etc. I've to a degree done that here with just my social performance here on the channel. But problem is that if I don't have some financial leverage, or even at least that option somehow, then I know I will inevitably end up in some kind of cucking position that's going to break the spirit from my side in the relationship, which will make it wither. And that is partially what happened with my ex too, is that I ran out of money. Inheritance money is kind of what I did it with, and I had hoped that I'd kind of figure my way out and find an investment good enough to keep going, but it didn't work. It grinded to a halt. $40 wage. Yeah, Oz, but I mean, if you do it really well, that's not overpaid at all. Right? That would be overpaid on a minimum wage style cleaning job, which would provide the situation I talked about, remember? You only do one thing like a robot and basically not really clean it up. That's the low wage type of cleaner, and it's completely useless. Or it makes me feel useless. So yeah, it's very logical that real cleaning would be much higher paid because it's much more intensive and requires more skill and more insight, more care. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, that interests me. Although probably it would require transport, definitely. It's because, yeah, you're gonna be moving around, of course. It's not gonna be the same place all the time. But I don't know. I'll probably have like a bus that'll move around. Right. So yeah, I might at some point just go and do that. Unless PayPal's come rolling in here more regularly. And yeah, guys, and I'm not trying to like personally squeeze you. I'm trying to figure out like another way of doing that. Because it's no use trying to squeeze you, it'll just leave bitterness or... Because I'm pretty sure you guys, a lot of people that come here in my chat, you already want to help out if you could. I'm thinking, though, from a group perspective, how do we find people that would be interested in what I talk about, or what I do, even the emotions or something, that would support? Or if there is like this giant wall of opinions that prevent those people from doing that, then what is it? What is it that I'm doing specifically wrong to withhold so many people from supporting me? Huh. Okay, Oz, that's cool. Nice. You have to start building a cult. That's very freaking funny, classical homeopath. Yeah, it's not a cult though. I hope you're being ironic there. Now, you guys, hey, I'd love to start a cult. All you have to do is just do what I say then. So donate to me now. Yeah, I mean, what do you do with that comment? I mean, I could just choose to squeeze you all and just say like, oh, you're just like Owen, you have to pay your gay away because you know you got some of that. But I mean, I'd rather actually help you get it away instead of this bribe thing. You've always been critical. Yeah, that's cute. That's very cute, classical homeopath. You can keep it to yourself. Yeah, there's nothing cult about it. Yeah, cult, don't let you leave. Home Benjamin kicks people out all the time, and so do I. That's not a cult. So you should find another word that would be a more accurate description. I mean it, classical homeopath, because it's just wrong. Right? If you don't like him, that's fine, dude. There are things about him that I don't like either. But there's also a lot of things that I do like. And I like how he literally just pushes all the buttons on purpose and plays with it. I'm kind of jealous about that. I wish I could do that, but on the other hand, yeah, I don't want to like keep saying those words just to trigger people. It's not my thing. Although it can be funny, especially when he's in this kind of vibe. But yeah, not a cult. But yeah, I like the idea of Owen Benjamin has a community around him. But I mean, he is much more suitable for that, though. I'm not like a community leader type. The way I present myself is not like a community leader. I mean, you could argue it's just gonna trigger so many people, that I'm sort of like trying to be an alpha. I'm now the alpha. Alpha doesn't have to do what the teacher said. Yeah, no. The point is that I am not typically a community leader type because they would not do some of the things that I do. They wouldn't do rage win. So it's not the right setup. I'm just like basically doing something and not trying to cuck, like on a spiritual level. That's what I do, and I think that's also what I'm appreciated for, which is classified under honesty and openness for people and for myself. But it's not I don't know exactly. It's like I don't like people enough in general to be a proper community leader. I just don't like people. I mean, I like individuals. I just... It sounds really bad. It's not like, we need to get rid of humans because I don't like them. No. It's just that there's this personal thing against most people. It's like less than 1% of people I don't have that response to. So it just wouldn't really work because I couldn't like genuinely give love to a large group of people like that in that way. I haven't really done that either, right? You don't really see me gushing too much. Well, sometimes I am really glad. I'm thankful and like I love you guys and the way that this is all rolling out. There's good moments. But there's also plenty of moments that even when you guys are trying to be nice, I'm just like, yeah, screw you all. You're just trying to parasite on me. I mean, this literally said that a week ago. And that was honestly what I felt. Even though I intellectually know that that's not what you guys do. The ones that typically hang around. The guys with ranches here. I know you don't do that. But it still feels like it when I don't feel great. And I feel that that just makes me not a good leader. Because a good leader, even in bad moral situations when they're demoralized, they don't act out their demoralization on their group. That's like the exact opposite of what a leader should be doing. Now, at least I have awareness about this, but still, it keeps happening. So I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if I have what it takes in that sense, or even if I really underneath it all want to do that. Because it might literally be my subconscious or my other conscious in the dark world that's like preventing me from being able to do that. By seeding that anti-leadership impulse. Because maybe it's to be avoided. Because of a higher cause. I'm not sure. But yeah. The problem is that with cults, the real problem with cults, which make it really not durable for a pure person, is that people go to cults to indulge in a sin of some kind. Sometimes it's because some of their eccentric traits are easily accepted. For example, in a cult, or it's because the cult is really against a certain thing that wouldn't be societally accepted, right? Alongside the typical things of you're not supposed to leave, and once you're in, and you can't go out. But you don't find that over at Owen Benjamin. You're not going to find that over me. I mean, if you want to leave, you get the fuck out. This is mandatory. But the problem is I don't want to provide a place to indulge. So that would work it's like I don't want people to indulge and then feel like, haha, I have power over them because they feel safe to indulge with me and so they're with me. That's the real cult way of doing things. I don't have that. Every time somebody indulges, I'm just like, don't do that. I have much more of fatherly tendencies than to like take power over people because they feel they can indulge with me and I'm okay with that because of the power. No, I'm not. It disturbs me to see the sin and to see people indulge. What's the topic? Leadership? Yeah, many different things, Dr. Utger. Leadership, also working. Potential job future for me. Because I don't feel that this channel is working. I mean, content-wise, it's just fine. Even with the following, plenty of activity. Even though it's all cornered off in the internet. But the situation financially is getting worse. And not just things getting more expensive, but also the amount of support that I get from you guys has dramatically decreased. And that's not a viable situation in the long run. So my mind is just forced to wonder, where can I go? Because that dead end would absolutely inevitably lead to me literally not being able to do the streams anymore. Because eventually I'll get into trouble with my rent. And then there will be no more internet for me. And then I won't be able to do it either way. See? So I don't have a choice. Because I'm not getting more support, so I don't have a choice. It's not emotional sabotage. It's the reality. Right. No, it doesn't work. Part-time jobs won't work, Dr. Utger. I'm on social welfare. If I do a part-time job, well, then I'll be working part-time and not making any money because it'll go back. It'll be detracted from my social welfare. So I'd lose the time and not gain anything. I have to be able to ascend out of that ceiling, or it'll be effectively pointless to resolve the financial issues. The most viable, durable solution for the whole situation of me being able to continue doing this show is to get support. It is the solution. It's the only proper solution. Yeah, Dr. Utker. Yeah, and so am I. And I mean, the government here is like really, really pushing the edge. I mean, they're gonna get themselves assassinated by somebody that's really sick of it like this. I mean, they're already gone way past the line that I can handle. That's why I try just not to get into it. It's crazy. They're like flaunting more and more. They're just like, ha, we got you. We do whatever the fuck we want. And we'll laugh about it in your face. They're going to that level now. And there's even more public criticism about it all, and calling for like the criminal investigation more and more. And there are stuff happening. It's just they're getting worse, and like they really want that to happen. They really want to be a victim. They really want to be the target. I mean, that's the only logical reason for them to be that egregious now. To be that openly, disgustingly evil. This could be the only reason, is that they really want to have that target on their back, so somebody just can't handle it anymore and does something, and then they can like roll out a giant military apparatus to completely fuck everything up locally. Something. Or gain some big momentum from their weenie public that's kind of in a doubting point position. There's a lot of really fucked up, mentally corrupted people in the government in the Netherlands. Really bad. And they barely conscious. I mean, I don't understand how people like that are allowed in government. People that are like blatantly, mentally incompetent and deranged sometimes too. I don't understand how that is possible. But those people, they usually go with where the wind is, and a lot of them are probably not even are too happy about the whole situation, but as soon as something dramatic would happen, they would absolutely side with the Nazis. Because that's what they do. Just a little bit of wind change and immediately, see? Oh, we were right after all. Forget about all the shit. No, we'll go with it again, even though it makes everything worse. That's what typically happens. So maybe that's why they're flaunting so much. So yeah, I mean, an isolated incident, like one person gets assassinated or attacked or something, is not going to do anything. It's going to have to be all of them at the same time. Or a more dramatic type of mass arrest. But how do you even achieve this? Because there's so many people involved, like hundreds. It's going to require like a massive task force to organize something like that. It's going to have to be simultaneous. Right? So that literally no emergency communist takeover clause can still be signed in by one of the leftovers. It has to be all at once. How can this happen? How can this come into being? I don't know. Who would do it? Who's left? Who's left to be able to do anything? I mean, the people that are doing it, the weenies, the crazy followers, like they barely even have any cohesion. They don't even have any strength left. It's like the level of media spiritual toxicity has become so egregious and so normalized that people on average lose their ability to cohesively think about things and about what's happening in the world. They're losing their ability to cohesively think about it. And so they lose complete control. When you lose complete oversight, you lose your ability to do anything useful, because you can't see what you would be doing anymore, because you don't understand it anymore, because you don't have the oversight. It's a real big problem. What I can see in the Netherlands is that like even people that know like, yeah, it's all wrong what they're doing, I'm not going along with it, they too lose cohesion. Like they don't know what to do about the country anymore. So there's a lot of people at this point that are awakened to it, but they're like in waiting mode. Like they don't know what the fuck to do about this shit anymore. It just won't stop. It's just a wound that keeps striking and you don't know how to defend against it. And if you turn everything off, well, the hurt's still going to continue out there. And then you'll not be informed. And eventually, that will make you resent anybody who is informed, who comes carrying the pain to try to inform. This is an inescapable setup, guys. The only thing that can work, if it could work, is a mass revolt, mass arrest. Because that's something that those people in the passive resisting position, that's something that they could get behind. That's something that I could get behind. So when is it going to happen? Mass revolt, mass arrest. When is it going to happen? The pushing this, yeah. You don't need to tell me about the hell that's rolling out. And it's gonna get much worse. I'm not even gonna complain about, oh, they're doing this. Dude, you have no idea how bad this will get. Unless there's a mass revolt, mass arrest. I mean, it's gonna have to be Ceausescu style, guys. It has to be, because it will get worse and more painful, more degrading, more horrendous, more inescapable, unless there's a mass revolt and mass arrest of the perpetrators in the government, in all sectors. And there's plenty to pin on them. Plenty. Problem is that every sector is corrupt, so it doesn't matter that there's something pinned on people, because they're not going to get persecuted by this corrupted system because they're in there. So it has to be a mass arrest. All of them. I could almost like bring back the old slogan, quarantine the government. Because, like, who's not in it with it all at this point? It's very few individuals. Just a couple of parties, and they're continually getting harassed, like really badly harassed, and like physically assaulted, okay? There's like politicians from Forum for Democracy, one that I voted for, but they lost it was rigged. Basically, it was rigged. Like, all the votes were gone. They didn't get anything, even though there was a massive amount of vocal support and online support from real people. So it got rigged. Elections were fucking meddled with really badly last time here. Right? But some of their people are getting physically assaulted by other politicians from the cartel, from the main parties, including Rutte, who's the great beloved Prime Minister of the Netherlands, who's so beloved by Klaus Schwab, literally on camera. And those cartel parties are big. There's hundreds of people, maybe even thousands, I don't know, but at least hundreds in control. And some of them just literally, like crazy people, assault Forum for Democracy politicians. Like provably, and nothing is done. They don't even get a fine for it. Quarantine the government? Dude! Arwin 2020, slow-mo moon buggy. Arwin 2020. I mean, look in the hashtags. Huh? I think it's still in there. Yeah, it's still in there. Huh? Look in the description box. In the hashtag list. It's pretty much in the middle. It's been sitting there for years. And I know it is really good, and it is becoming appropriate right now. But it's not even... I don't even mean it as a meme. As a meme, it was always good, especially in relation to the medical experimentation and the complicitness of people in government. Right? With that. But in this case, I mean, they should be literally quarantined, but not because of a medical thing, but because of their treachery and Nazi practices. Yeah. Nazi practices in what they do, and how they lie, how they basically have a class. They've created a class system. Them, the rulers that can get away with anything, any crime, doesn't matter what, and they're always praised or apologized for, and those that oppose them, which are going to get hammered to the maximum extent, the letter of the law and beyond, and things made up about them, and hammered to no end. That's their mechanism. That's Nazi. That's what the Nazis do. Literally. That's how they did it in Nazi Germany. And arguably, you could very much state that that's how they even did it in that little Nazi rise in Ukraine. Yeah? Nazi practices. That's what these crazy cartel government people are doing. They're acting like that. They're bypassing the law. They're ignoring all the laws that are there, that have always been respected. And they're just staying there. So a quarantine and a mass arrest. But how do we get to that point? Because there's already lawyers and even functionaries from the government trying to get on it. But how do you get to that point where they actually get a group of people to say, okay, you all come with us now? Yeah? Hand over your phones, put them in this bag, and you're coming with us. Here's the bus. This is the place you're going to stay for the next few months until the official trials begin. Like that. Like, it has to come, guys. It has to come, or it's all fucked. Or all of this shit can all just be firebombed. It's like, it's so beautiful nature. Oh, they're taking so good care of it. Yeah. Where this is all going, you could just firebomb it all. Because at some point, all this beauty, yeah? You know what they're gonna do? We further enslave ourselves, we further go along with this, allow them to be Nazis like that. They will literally cut everything down and burn the grass and pave things just to fuck you up. It'll all be gone. They will cut down everything. They will kill every little thing. That's what they do. They get you imprisoned, and then they torture your spirit to death by destroying everything around you. Everything that is beautiful, everything that's cohesive. Whether it is spiritual, cultural, or practically art, life. They'll destroy it all and just watch you sit there being tortured, thinking that you're not being able to do that. And the Rosetta Stone, the Rosetta prestige that they have is that somebody is so done with it that they kill themselves. That's the number one applause they give in such moment, because that's what they do. That's what fucking Nazis do. Yeah? Everything out here is completely useless, and you could just firebomb it just like that, because it's fucking useless while these people are in control. They'll kill everything, and they'll make beautiful things just to enthrall you, to take more power, and then literally slaughter it right in front of you just to fuck you up. Because that's what they do. So when is the mass arrest coming? You can't let them continue doing this. You can't let them continue doing this. You can't let them sit there and utter more attempts and suggestions of these criminal Nazi actions. You can't allow them to do that. There has to be a mass arrest. Can't wait for the fucking procedures to run out. Right? The bureaucracy must be bypassed. Mass arrest. Hurry up. Right, arrested. Yeah, but the point is metaphorical. I don't want it to be firebombed, but it might just as well be. I mean, if the Netherlands would be massively firebombed into one giant smoldering parking lot, right? Well, at least those pieces of shit in the government would get killed, yeah? Because later, once they get complete control, they'll destroy all of it. And they won't get hurt. So at this point, when I said, what is it, like a few months ago, like, when is Russia finally gonna just firebomb us? Please just do it. At least those fucked up scumbags will die then. It's worth dying for. Because if they don't die, then we all die anyway. In a much, much worse position to die in. In a position of hopelessness and torture and mental anguish you cannot imagine, that will literally fracture your person so that you're not fully consciousness of every aspect of your being anymore. Yeah, that's what that will do. There is no limitation to where they go. There has to be a mass arrest. It's the only way. I'd say, like, just go full bloody and just, like, what do you mean mass arrest? Literally, we kill them all at once. Night of the Long Knives, all at once. Bah, 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 bah. Hundreds. All bloody corpses everywhere. Yeah? And then shit happens. Then the real shit happens. Then all the groups that have been held back by the terror of the Nazis, they suddenly come out and try to grab the ground, grab power. Because that's what would happen. So we'll have to do with a lot of fucking chaos, and it could get much worse. So that's why it's much better to have a mass arrest event. Even though it will be more tedious, and there's a chance that some fucked up nation might, like, move in and try to free them. Okay? For me, the maximum terrible scenario would be that, like something surreal, insane would happen that just could not logically happen, and that would like be so fucking devastating. It would break the spirit of the entire world. But like the worst possible imaginable scenario morally for me would be that there would be a mass arrest event, and that things get resolved, and that literally Russia comes in and like forces the release of them and basically give them back control of the Netherlands. That would fuck me up so bad, I would probably commit suicide if that would happen. So, but I can't imagine at this point that would be real. Because if that would happen, that would mean that this entire fucking Marxist rollout, this Nazi rollout, would be a controlled move. That they are actually then Russian collaborators, Marxist infiltrators, and that would completely flip everything inside out. And it is possible technically, that Mark Rutte and all those other fucked up people are actually Russian agents. That they are a controlled opposition, that they're there to sharpen the blade of Russian war machine. But that would be absolutely terrible. Terrible. Unspeakably criminal. And idiotic. Because that would mean that they're literally then creating their own attack. They're creating being attacked then. But I don't know. I'm not going to go there. It's not happened. It's an absolute nightmare scenario. But I mean, there is a big chance that once Russia actually escapes from this NATO and globalist claw and the war, that they will suddenly not be so morally upright anymore after they break out. There's a big chance of that. And to a certain degree, I'm definitely not going to blame them for it. Because they've been like just internationally screwed with. Assaulted, like threatened by a whole bunch of people that literally openly declared that they want to exterminate their race. Well, when you hear that enough, and your people actually get killed by those people that say that, then eventually it's going to dampen the light of the Christian spirit. And then Odin will take over. That's what happens. Like, it might still be called Christian, but it will be Odin. Hold on. Anyway. What the hell? Get out of here. Damn it. Just sit still, you stupid thing. What the hell? Okay. Oh. Get out. Yeah, that way. Out! You stupid thing. Ah, that worked. Sometimes you just have to really yell at a fly at the right moment. Right, anyway. Nationalist who is anti-Bolshevik. What? Yeah. Well, fascism used to be anti-Marxism or anti-communism, right? sort of, but it's all, these definitions are so convoluted, and they were convoluted even back then. I mean, communism and Nazism are like basically twins that, because of their nature, can get into like family feud level arguments with each other, right? But they're almost identical. They have the same results, they apply similar tactics. Yeah, twins, that's right. Hey dude, they're pretty much birthed there around the same time. Came forth from the same father, Karl Marx. Hey, huh? A dragonfly. You don't see that in here every day. Huh. Where is he? Spider webs. Picture. Okay, sit there then. Fine. It's a tiny little green dragonfly. Nationalism is the cure. Yeah. What else did they teach you? What? Right, anyway. Please support me, guys. Gonna just say it again. Through PayPal, that would be great. And let me know. What did you just... What the fuck, twins? But not the same? What? Rollerblading. Yeah. Fair enough, classical homeopath. It's funny that you'd call it that, with your opinion on Owen Benjamin. Can you guys maybe be comprehensible about what you're saying in my chat? That would be fucking great. Maybe you could actually write it down so that somebody reading it could make sense of what you're saying. Wouldn't that be great? Hey, if you got some problem, Godzilla or Classical, anybody, if you got a problem with what I'm saying, like, no, I don't think they're like twins, then fucking spell it out. Don't say some stupid, vague, sarcastic remark and then don't say anything. Yeah? Just spell it out and share the detail of your objection. Stop being so vague. Yeah, thanks a lot, Godzilla. Thanks a lot for that. So you guys don't give a fuck about what I fucking talk about on the show, do you? You just don't give a fuck. For what? You don't even know what you put in my chat, man. Same thing, lol. So, is that an objection? Is that an agreement? A bunch of trolls rolling out shit? You just leave it like that? When I'm specifically trying to address it, I'm not talking to you, Tarot. Communism was worse. But that's not, that doesn't mean anything in this instance. They're of the same nature, they do the same things. It's just that communism has been a lot more brutal in its revolutions. But they come from the same roots. They're like twins. You could call one the really fucking evil twin and the other is just the evil twin and the really fucking evil twin, okay? Is that a better description? If you could just spell it out, that would be great. Yeah, Classical Homeopath, you actually did do that, and I appreciate that. Godzilla, he doesn't seem to give a shit. Well, why say anything at all then? But yeah, I agree. Communism effectively is worse. But I mean, that's already, if you're going to say which one is worse, then you're already creating a false dichotomy. Because you should never choose out of any of them. You should treat them equally. They're both bad. They both lead to the same bad things. Right? Spiritual dislocation of the public. It's what they do. They both thrive on complete lies. programming everybody with complete lies. They both do that. They both create the same problems. Just that communism ends up like being more genocidal. Does that mean you're gonna have to side with them over communists? Like, what the fuck, man? They're the same. There's just no communicating with you guys sometimes. Nationalism. Yeah, but nationalism movements aren't Nazis, Godzilla. Nationalism isn't Nazi. Nazis just kind of used the idea of nationalism, grafted it in their style. But nationalism isn't Nazi. They're not the same thing. Yeah? All that bullshit is all communist propaganda. They call everything Nazi. Okay. Sure, Tarot. That's fine. You can ask, though. Yeah, extreme right wing. National Social. Yeah, it isn't. It's extreme left wing, and that's why I'm saying again, it's the same thing, the same roots. They're twins. One is the evil twin, the other is the really evil twin. Eyes in the public. Well, those I jab their eyes out. They're fucking retarded. Don't actually jab their eyes out. Spiritually, metaphorically, just don't do it. Whatever. It's just fuck that. Who gives a fuck what they say? They can say Nazi to my face. I'll just ask them what a fucking Nazi is. Like, what is a Nazi? Oh, it's that, is it? So prove that my actions are Nazi. Oh, that? No, that isn't Nazi. What is Nazi, however, is this. The government is doing, and that, what the government is doing, and that. And oh, look at that literal Nazi support of people that are openly Nazi. Yeah, that's kind of Nazi, isn't it? Right? Yeah, that's what I would do. Like, you can call me Nazi to my face. If you do, you're a fucking retard and you don't even know what Nazis are. You've probably never even seen an actual Nazi face to face. Somebody that's into that. You've never even spoken to any of them. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Right? Because Nazi is just is a boogeyman word, and people don't know what the fuck they're saying when they use it most of the time. Like, although some of the a little older generations that still like grew up in the 80s and 90s and before, they'll probably have a better look on what Nazis are really like. But the newer generations are completely deprogrammed, like they're completely deranged in how they've been programmed to see it. So they don't really know the subtle details of what a Nazi is versus somebody who isn't. They just don't know it. To them, it's just a political slur that's getting thrown out in the media all the time and the news. What? Satan controlling the docs? Or is it no. The doctors are evil. Yeah? If Satan is controlling you, that's because you let Satan control you. They are evil. You can't basically shove responsibility because you can describe what happened to you mentally or spiritually as being possessed. It doesn't work. You let it happen. Let's get the Nazis all in. What are you talking about? Oh, you mean like people like George Soros? I mean, you could definitely classify him as a Nazi. Not all doctors are evil. That's right, only the evil doctors are evil. You know them by their fruits, or the rotting heap of dead flesh they leave behind. Right? That's how you know. The National Socialist. Well, he's not politically National Socialist, but I mean, he's worked with them. He still likes that he did that. And I mean, it's, yeah. The guy could just literally fit in a movie. In a Nazi movie. So, yeah, he might not be politically National Socialist, right? But he is a Nazi, though. He does all those things. Right? I mean, to even say National Socialist. So you're a Nazi because you're a National Socialist. Really? Like, is that automatically the same thing? Is what they did started out as the National Socialist Party, is that automatically a Nazi? It's like, if you're a National Socialist, does that always mean that you are a Nazi then? Or could you have being slightly socialist and being nationalist? Can that be not Nazi? Could you just be a National Socialist? Do you have to have the whole religious aspect and style and all the roots with all the other Nazi? Is that automatic if you're a National Socialist? Is it theirs? Have they permanently claimed that format? Because I kind of like both. Like, I like nationalism, and although I do understand the risks of socialism, if you can keep it like kind of soft socialism and not let it keep growing into communism, well, it's very appealing in many ways. Right? But you have to have the nationalist aspect be very strong and very prioritized for that to keep working. Because, like, as soon as you can't You can't have open border and socialism at the same time. Absolute, undeniable fact. Right? So yeah, National Socialism could work pretty well if you close the borders. Right? You don't, and yeah, you make sure that everybody stays working and productive and spread the riches of the land equally. Or that's like reasonable socialism. But it has to be closed borders. You have to be very strict with your migration policy. You can't have these crazy migration ventures that you're having. That's, by the way, exclusively communists. Communists do that sort of thing. And they do it also to destroy countries. Yeah? I mean, just look at China. Do they allow giant migrant waves in? No. They kill entire peoples. They don't let people in. They kill them off. That's what they do. Klaus Schwab is Nazi offspring? Yeah, I better believe it. And the Nazis will shut. Yeah, if you try National Socialist government, then the Nazis, of course, they will do the same bullshit as they did with Trump, and probably worse. I mean, you're gonna, if you try it, there's a guarantee that like all the CNN news bullshit, they're all gonna literally like spread around memes using whatever style you have for your soldiers or your police officers, and then like paint Nazi crosses on their arms and shit. Guaranteed they would do that. Absolute guarantee. And other crazy shit too. You know, constantly try to agitate, constantly send in like grabbler crybabies that go agitate you, pick on people until they get hurt, and then, oh, it's a giant media. Oh, look, all the Nazis hurt me. Yeah, that's what they would do, for sure. Might still be worth it, though. Right? But the problem is that with what you're going to be dealing with, how do you avoid actually getting entangled with the Nazi groups that are basically just as bad as communism? It's just their opponents ideologically, even though they're very alike in spiritual ways, at least. Very death oriented and lies oriented. What Nazi groups? Just these, well, the people, yeah, there might not be a lot left. Only grabblers out there? No. I'm talking about militant groups. A lot of the militant groups that were actually neo-Nazis. They did, and not just the squeamy, like on social media, squeaky boys that pretend to be all goose-stepping Nazis, but they don't do anything ever. I'm not talking about those. Those are getting in your face. Apparently a lot on BitChute. I'm talking about actual militant type groups, and they exist. Yeah? I actually met some of them a whole long time ago. No, not BLM. They're freaking communists. They don't have a name. They're just people. They're people that think of themselves as Nazi, that get into military shit, and that do operations and arguably criminal racketeering and shit. I'm not gonna name fucking names. They're criminals. I don't even know their names. They didn't have a name, but they did consider themselves as being Nazis. And they did, like, openly really hate Jews and feared them. And they did not like blacks either. So yeah, I mean, they exist out there. There might have been a lot of them, and it's no doubt that a lot of them got slaughtered in Ukraine by now. The point is that they are out there, and that if you're gonna try to start some National Socialist political party, they're not skinheads. I'm not talking about like goons. And yes, skinhead goons, they will definitely, like if there's some Nazis or their goons are going to present themselves. That's what they do. Right now the goons, these skinheads, those goon types, they're literally working with the government right now. Yeah? Those are like the backup troops. People that do the secret shitty things. So the skinheads are already employed right now. So, but my point is that if you would try to make a National Socialist Party, you're bound to get those people try to involve themselves with you. But there are... Yeah, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to fucking name names, even if I knew them. And we'll know Antifa and BLM, but they are really... They're freaking communist, or whatever. I don't even know what they are. They're like communist, Nazi, occultist, Satanist shit. They're everything that's terrible. They're effectively just Satanists. Okay? But those people are not respected by Nazis, actually, because those are communists. Canada first. Yeah, but if you're gonna call it Canada first, you're gonna just play into all the tropes that have already been there for a while. You're just gonna play into it. If you're gonna go with that phraseology. There's playbooks, and you're then taking part in those playbooks, and thus the result will be very predictable. Yeah? It's like taking up a camp in a play that's already been prefabricated. It's no point. What I'm thinking about is like a nationalist socialist party type setup that would literally avoid every single one of those fucked up tropes. To be something really new and not Nazi oriented. Like not even necessarily opposing the duality in that struggle. Like to be a third thing. A third new form of National Socialism. That's not Nazi, that's not communist. Like more emphasis on the nationalism than on the socialism. Anyway. But yeah, if you're just gonna say, oh, my country first, well then you're gonna literally play into a playbook. It's been well developed out there, and you're gonna get stuck into a camp that's all been prefabricated. And everybody's going to put you in there, and you're going to be forced to sit in there. So you don't pull out the typical slogan, so you hit all those numbers. And then you're going to immediately roll into a playbook, and then you lose complete control over where everything's going to go. Because everything is already moving in accordance to that standardized playbook. that people follow. They don't even realize it. Nationalism is a dirty word in politics. Unless you're like in Russia or China or any other country that's not fucking retarded and taken over by communists. PPC, what is that? Clutch. Right, yeah, I know, Godzilla. It's the worst. I mean, need it back. We need nationalism back. Like, all the countries need it back. Like, they can all use it. And I think especially probably France. I mean, they needed it. And I think that England also really needs it. They need it back. Look at what's becoming of them because of this. Because the nationalism is taken away. I mean, England thrived much better when it was a nationalist culture. They did. This is fact. And, well, with France, yeah, I'm not sure, but I know there's a lot of, like, nationalist sympathies, especially among, like, the worker class there, and yeah, I think that they would all do much better if they just got a little bit more nationalist like that. Scottish National Party? Oh, that's awesome. Well, Scotland would do even better with nationalism. I mean, it's in their blood. The old nationalism, or well, yeah, it's not really nationalism. Just that Scottish identity was always very nationalist in style. Like, it's their identity, and yeah. Every Western country would do better with nationalism. Yeah, well, it would do better with nationalism than with globalism. Absolutely. And you know what? The thing is, Godzilla, and all of you guys listening, thanks for listening and being active in the chat, by the way. But the point is that if they're all nationalist, that would literally, effectively become like globalism. With like the advantages of it, because suddenly, yeah, your priorities match, the way you do things match with the other countries, and then trade suddenly becomes easier and more logical and logistically very doable and profitable. And so then you get a nationalist globalism type situation where it's like not everybody's forced to be enslaved and be unified, but everybody's their own thing and just like playing and duking it out on the market. And yeah, there will then probably be more conflicts and more hassles, but it will effectively work better because people get, when you get struggles and duking it out, well, that's like training. It's kind of just like kids, like play fighting and shit and doing that all. It's to train yourself. You have to have some struggles, right? So that it would all work out much better. It wouldn't collapse in on itself like that. It might succumb to some kind of struggle that might turn into a war, which would be very unfortunate. But it's not going to collapse in on itself like communism and globalism does. Because that's where they always end. That's right, nationalists with global trade. Yeah. It was excellent. Fuck you, retard. Get the fuck out of my chat. Can barely even utter a coherent sentence, you fucking little retard. You don't belong here. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna trigger it. I'm gonna do it. Alright, I'm giving this a title. Maybe I'll change it though, but I thought that was kind of funny. Nazis and communists. Twins. One is evil, the other is more evil. I could also formulate a question instead. Like, can National Socialism be separated from Nazism? What do you guys think? Would that make a better title than this? Both have been on the show. No? No what? Why is it you guys always keep on going and then as soon as I ask a question it takes like minutes before anybody responds? Because you thought, yeah. You're not the only one here, though. You like the title? Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Okay, I'll keep it like this. Maybe I'll call it The Nazi and Communist Twins. Yeah. Yeah, this title's cool. Very appropriate. Right, so yeah, guys, I hope you have all been enjoying the show. I got 10 more minutes to go, but I mean, that's gonna be over very quickly. I hope you guys appreciated it, this kind of talk. A lot of it came forth from my utter frustration with the situation in the world, especially in my country, but other places as well. And like seeing like how in America now they're literally trying to copy the frickin' Dutch nitrogen policy. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, that makes me feel ashamed that we weren't able to like stop it here. I don't even know why. Like, I'm so fucking sick of this fucking bureaucracy just being able to keep creeping, keep able to... Like, the system's broken, man. It's totally broken. People in power can just do whatever the fuck they want, and because of everything taking so fucking long to do anything about it, they can just do whatever they want. There is no government. It's just... There's no accountability. Like, yeah, they do all these things. It's all illegal. Yeah, and what are you going to do about it? Nothing. They just do it. And they got people in the right places that will prevent it from ever coming to a head, from ever getting resolved. And they can just go away with criminal shit, get away with it, and even retire having done criminal shit. And grow old and die living off the riches of having done the criminal shit. This is what it's becoming. These people don't pay for their crimes. The law doesn't apply to them because of the setup that they've created. It's been a nice show. Yeah, thanks, Dr. Utker. Oh. Glad I didn't really go ballistic like yesterday. Right. Anyway, I think I'm gonna round out the show. I want to see more upvotes, guys. I really do. Just sometimes it's just so little, and then like, but there's like 10 people in the chat. Why why don't they vote up? There's been shows where I have 10 guys in the chat and all interesting, good communication, good spirits, and then it just ends up with 3 upvotes. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? What am I drinking? I was drinking Gusto energy drink. This is really good stuff with a lot of ginseng in it. The ginseng. And with this hot weather, it's great. It's really great. Yeah, and it doesn't like give me like bad stomach issues like coffee and everything. Man, I haven't drunk coffee in such a long time. I don't even know how long. It's been ages. Sometimes I do still smell coffee and then I'm like, would like a taste. But I'm never doing it though. I know I'll be disappointed. And I'll probably go right away from it if I take it. So I'm not trying it. The Cornholio. Need cappuccino for my bunghole. Yeah, so let's not do that. Right. Anyway, thanks everyone for coming. I hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be very much needed. So yeah, please find a way to support me, or I don't know, man. Organize a survival fund or something. Should I? Maybe. But support would be great. Very essential for me to be able to keep doing this. Because otherwise I'm probably gonna like find a job and then I won't be back. I won't have the time to be back. I won't have the energy to be back. I'll be spending all my energy just to get into a working life and being able to do that without breaking down. You see? So if you like me doing this show every day, there's gonna have to be support somehow. So please help me out or find somebody that can. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, even if you don't support, but if you contribute to the show, I'll still appreciate it. But I mean, yeah, the more financial or the more dire my financial situation is going to be, the more stressed out I am going to get. And probably the less positive energy overall will come out. I don't know how to avoid it. Right, anyway. I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 1624 on a Wednesday, and I'm going to join the Flat Earth debates over at Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, which should start up in just a few minutes from now. Do you get tired speaking for 2 hours and 1 hour on a daily basis? Well, I don't speak all that much on FED, Terry 306. Usually at the beginning a bit. But I don't, like, because if I do that, if I really try to dominate, they'll get pissed off at me. Don't know if you noticed. Everybody could just blah, 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 and Brian can have like a half an hour total speaking time, 10th man can have a half an hour total speaking time, no problem. If I try that, everybody gets pissed off at me. It's because I get too energetic or something. I don't know what it is. It always happens. I don't talk too much on FED compared to this show, because in this show I'm literally talking for 2 hours straight, which is more than anything what the guys do on FED, because nobody's talking for 2 hours straight. That's just not happening. They're all taking their time. I have a lot of time to basically sit there and let it sink, even smoke a joint in the meantime to cool down. the factor is that, yeah, I just have to kind of sit there and wait for the right moment to do my Arwin thing, jump in. But it's not super strainful. It does take up time though, and I need to do it also to stay connected out there. So yeah, it's very doable for me. It's not gonna be doable though if I at the meantime am continually thinking like, oh, I like doing this show, but I'm so poor, I need to somehow get money because I'm hungry, and I'm so distracted by that I'm hungry and then I'm poor that the show is not going to be interested anymore, and then eventually I'll get distracted by finding a way to get money, right? Anyway, that's the last time I'm going to say that on today's show. Expect more in the future though. Right, anyway, hope to see you all on the next show, and until the next video, keep it flat.